Welcome to the bailout circus, America. Trump is floating a plan to use tariff revenue to bail out the very farmers we've been talking about, who voted for their own destruction. Why should the American people have to pay for their ignorant, uneducated, hate-driven ballot box decisions? My name is Shanda, and welcome to In the Deep End. Trump is going to lie to us. And he's going to say China is paying for the bailout. Just like he said Mexico was paying for the wall. The American people will pay for the bailout package just as we have paid for all the others. Because we all know by now that cost of tariffs is always passed down to us, the consumer. Here's what this administration is trying to do. Take tariff revenue and funnel it into bailout checks for farmers who got slammed when China said, you know what, we're not playing these schoolyard games anymore. China turned to Argentina, Brazil, Uruguay, and Australia. And just like that, America was cut out of the deal. Right now, soybean farmers are in shambles because China, their number one customer, has stopped buying their crops. For years, China took more than half of America's soybean exports. But in 2025, they haven't booked not one single shipment. That has sent prices crashing. Some farmers are seeing beans worth just $8 to $9 a bushel when they used to get $13 to $15 a bushel, before the trade fallout, that is. Local storages are cutting bids and refusing deliveries because storage is maxed out. Farmers' soybeans are rotting. Farmers are on the ground reporting hundreds of thousands of dollars in lost revenue. Meanwhile, South America is cleaning up. I know, they're like, thank you, Trump. Thank you for your stupidity. It's making us rich. China is making record buys from Brazil and Argentina. And Trump is now scrambling about trying to get a tariff money bailout to our farmers. Isn't that ridiculous? He should have just done the right thing in the first place and didn't do this tariff madness. Just to give you an idea of how much bailout money these farmers actually get, between the years of 2019 and 2023, $161 billion in bailouts went to farmers. Farmers always get bailouts. When things go south or when trade wars erupt, the American people hand the farmers a bailout, send the farmers a check, give the farmers, that's it. Every single year, farmers get bailouts. The American people are tired of the bailouts. As we all know, the majority of the farmers are actually wealthy. And if that's the case, why are we giving them our tax dollars year after year when they're already wealthy? I could see it if it were a one or two off thing. Fine. We can all understand and support helping the people who put food on our tables. But they get them over and over and over again. Subsidies, crop insurance payouts, trade war rescues, disaster relief. Now, another $1 billion bailout. It's endless do-overs. And here's the part nobody talks about. In any other business scenario, If you were constantly in a position where you had to keep asking for more money to keep your business afloat, the banks would call in your loans, your business would be liquidated, and your land sold to the highest bidder. Why is farming treated differently? If there's anybody out there who knows the answer to that, please let me know. I'm very curious. Meanwhile, on the other side of the coin, ordinary American citizens who struggle every single day are told to work harder, save more, tighten your belts, revise your budget. Funny how this advice never applies to the farmers. According to this data, 98% of all United States family farms are wealthier than the average American household. If this is true, again I ask, why do we continuously give them more and more money? Let one of us average American households go ask for help and assistance. They're going to say, sorry, you make too much money. Denied. Or, well, since you own your own home, that's really considered an asset, so denied. Or, oh, you have $3,000 in your savings account? Denied. You might even say something like, well, I really need some emergency medical care. Is it possible for me to apply to Medicaid? Okay, well, how much money do you make per hour? I make $15 an hour. Oh, I'm sorry. That's just over the threshold. Denied. If you have anything at all, if you have any resources at all, you are denied any help or assistance. I know a lot of you out there can attest to this. I know I've heard it from person after person after person, even the elderly that have gone to apply for benefits. But the wealthy farmers get handed money left and right, even when they're already wealthy. While the American people are left to fend for ourselves in the worst of times. Just take a look at your grocery receipt. That pack of bacon you bought for $6.99 is now $10.99. Those peaches that were 72 cents a piece just a month ago are now $1.56 each. A gallon of milk, a bag of rice, even your washing machine, all climbing in price. And why? Because tariffs are taxes. And Trump's tariffs are draining our wallets. I want you guys to hear this. Americans are being taxed twice to fund this circus. Every dollar you earn at work, the government takes a piece, right? And some of that ends up in bailout funds. Then when you shop, you get taxed again at the register because those tariffs are baked into the prices. You're paying with your labor and your purchases. And once again, we are paying for their ignorant, uneducated, hate-driven ballot box decisions. Now, people love to say, well, no, the farmers' crops are important. If there's no food, we are going to starve. We have to help feed them. We have to help them feed us. Wrong. The global market has already proven otherwise. China showed the world it can pivot to Brazil, Argentina, Australia, and anyone else with crops to sell. The United States can be bypassed. Yes, pulling American farmers out of the equation would sting like hell in the short term. Prices would spike, supply chains would definitely wobble, but the world would not starve. Do I want America to lose its farms? Of course not. But this is too much. We're tired of the constant bailouts while we starve, while we suffer. And here's the warning shot. Remember how U.S. manufacturing was gutted and shipped overseas? Farming can follow the same path if it keeps leaning on government bailouts. When that day comes, no subsidy, no bailout, no government check will be enough to save it. The bottom line is this. Farmers, if you can't run your businesses without a bailout every year, you're not a good farmer. You're not a good businessman. And bad businessmen don't deserve endless do-overs on the taxpayer's dime. You know, maybe that's why Trump feels for them. He's a failed businessman many times over who's been handed countless do-overs himself. Nobody understands failure and bankrupt businesses better than he does. So of course, he'd have sympathy for farmers who keep flopping and still expect a handout. Any adult who's ever run a business or even just understands basic business principles knows this. If you can't manage your product, handle your debts, or mitigate your risk without running to someone for a bailout, it's time to hang it up. Turn off your tractor, park it in the shed, and go get a job. I hear the garden department at Home Depot is hiring. Maybe most of you should look into it. Thank you guys for watching. Please don't forget to like, comment, share, and subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next one.